Prospective parents struggling with infertility in Alabama are now struggling for options after a court ruling on the legal status of embryos. The ruling, which says embryos can be considered children legally, has led at least 3 Alabama fertility clinics to pause treatments while they sort out the legal ramifications. It comes as a serious blow to a growing number of parents who have turned to IVF to expand their families. A 2023 Pew Research survey found 42% of adults in the U.S. had either used treatments like IVF or knew someone else who had. That's up from 33% in 2018. CBS News national correspondent Nikki Battiste joins me in studio now. So, Nikki, let's get right into it. How does this decision impact people who have frozen embryos in Alabama right now?
It's a good question. We're seeing some of the implications, but I don't think we know entirely what they will be right now. There are many women, couples, people who have their IVF treatments paused. That means lost money. That means an emotional roller coaster. And I will say this, as someone who's gone through IVF, time is everything. They're losing time. And for patients who have gone through IVF in Alabama and may have frozen embryos, that's a whole other story. But what this really comes down to is this idea of personhood, which we've heard come up during abortion discussions, during Roe v. Wade. And the idea, as you mentioned in the intro, that the embryo is a human. So now these clinics are worried that if they, as happened here, destroy an embryo accidentally, or they have frozen embryos, or they create too many, are they going to be charged with a criminal act? I mean, that's what this really comes down to. So this is detrimental for IVF patients, I can't imagine. Emotional, financial loss, and how long this goes on, if it extends to other states, we just don't know yet.
Well, I want to ask you about that, Nikki, because this was a ruling from Alabama's highest court. But as we've seen, particularly when it comes to abortion laws, that it starts with one state and then very soon many other states, particularly red ones, have similar legislation. Do we expect that this decision is one that's going to be legislated in other states?
I think that we don't know. I think it's possible. There are 4 states that do have some sort of personhood law: Mississippi, South Carolina, Oklahoma, Alabama is the other. But I will say it sounds like there's a bipartisan effort in the Alabama House and Senate from many lawmakers to try and protect IVF. So perhaps that's the way this will go. I think we just don't know yet. This is sort of a new horizon, really. This is a topic that I don't believe has ever come up.
Right. Well, and it's interesting, too, because in many cases, there have been outspoken Christian conservatives who have said that they have used IVF to grow their family. And we should acknowledge that these treatments are expensive, that there's a great deal of disparity, obviously, in reproductive health care. I know that, Nikki, this is an issue that's very personal to you, as you've been very public about your IVF journey. What can you tell us, though, about that ongoing issue?
So I think an important point about IVF is that in the majority, 1 in 6 people in the world face some sort of infertility, men too. I think it's important to understand that most people do IVF for medical reasons. Infertility is recognized by the World Health Organization as a disease of the reproductive system. Of course, there are some people that do it for gender selection who may have excess money, but IVF is expensive. It costs on average about $20,000 to do 1 round of IVF, and on average it takes 3 rounds to get an actual baby. And there are a lot of factors that go into it. So there's been a lot of discussion about fertility coverage, more accessibility to patients having it. The Kaiser just put out a report yesterday that families on Medicaid, should it be covered for them and should it not? But, it's a big topic. So I think the hope is, and it's important in this country, that eventually this IVF will be covered more readily. I will say for me, I would never have been able to do 4 rounds if I didn't have fertility coverage here through Paramount CBS, and it made it possible because it often takes quite a few rounds. So it's a big problem, and so many people are impacted. I've heard from families who saw my story and say, I'd love to do IVF, but I can't afford it. And I will add this, part of the reason that IVF makes financial sense and is also safer, if you go through IVF and you're able 1 round, 2 rounds to create multiple embryos, it, in the end, saves money versus in this case, you could have 1 embryo and you'd be safe from any criminal action. But if you go through a round and have 4 embryos and you freeze 3, you could be in trouble. So I think that's another concern in the Alabama situation.
And it's such a deeply personal and emotional issue that these parents or prospective parents are dealing with.
Indeed.
Nikki, thank you for bringing your insights.
Thank you.